I needed to renew my driver's license, even if it made me sweat. Hello, this is Edwini, and this is my story about the most meaningful advice I ever received. Talking to strangers has always been challenging for me. It could be the cashier at the grocery store or the waiter at the restaurant. But interacting with government clerks felt like a special kind of nightmare. I always felt awkward or afraid of saying something wrong. They seemed to be always in a hurry, and I felt like I was wasting their time as I searched for the right words in my mind. At a certain point, I grew used to the anxiety. I knew I would feel it, but the need to get things done was greater, so I would have to face the interaction even if it made me sweat. A certain time, I needed to renew my driver's license, which meant I had to go to the DMV. I had been there not long ago, and I was familiar with the experience. I remembered this clerk who helped me and how impatient she was. I dreaded going back so much that I postponed it for months. One day, I finally felt courageous enough to schedule an appointment. But when the day came, my courage had vanished. Then my father asked, "What happened? Why don't you want to go?" I explained to him all my fears, especially about dealing with unkind clerks. The thought of my number being called from the queue by that same woman was so anxiety-provoking that I was ready to give up on ever driving again. Then my father said, "Hey, you are forgetting something. She's just a person, like you." I paused. It sounded so simple, but I had never really thought of it that way. He continued, "Think about it. She has fears. She has good days, bad days. Imagine going to that job every day, helping hundreds of people, listening to hundreds of complaints. Imagine how many people must treat her poorly. Now, imagine how she would react if someone she's helping just said, 'Hi, how's your day going?' with a cheering voice and actually listened to her response. Next time, try this. When she calls you, find something to comment on. Show her that you see her as a person, not just a helper." What he said gave me courage to at least leave the house. When I got to the DMV, there were only 2 attendants, and like the last time, she was one of them. The place was full and noisy. Everyone looked tired and impatient already. And of course, she called my number. I took a deep breath. I had already noticed the new posters behind her, and I prepared a comment in my mind. I walked up, sat in front of her, and said, "Hi, good morning. How's your day going so far?" and smiled to hear her response. She answered, quite thoughtfully to my surprise. Then, when I had a chance, I commented on the posters. "I like the new posters," I said. "Did you put them up?" It was that simple. The clerk smiled and explained everything about them to me. I didn't have to say much. And as she was talking, I thought about what my father had said, that she was just a person with a job to do, helping hundreds of people every day. And in that moment, when I was sitting in front of her, I forgot about my anxiety. It was just a simple piece of advice, to just look at her as a person. It didn't just change my trip to the DMV, but it began to change how I saw every stranger I met.